everybody. I'm Donna Reid, and this is Donna Reid Talks Voice. And I will be working today with Matthew. Hi, Matthew.
Hi,
So, could you give me a little bit of an introduction for our listeners and about yourself and all of that good stuff?
I'm Matthew. Hi, I'm a musical theater major in college currently. I've been singing all my life. I've worked with, teachers that are kind of crazy, and it's all about the basic things that you hear, like placement support, and it. Sometimes it just doesn't really work. So I was really glad to find Donna, and yeah, it's just I don't know what, what else to say.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Just, a little bit of a background, letting people know, where you're coming from. We haven't been working all that long, right? How long has it been?
I think March.
Was it March? Yeah, it was just this year, right?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was March.
Okay, so again, not that anything neither here nor there. We just because I work with you, whatever you're doing at the moment, and we see what's going on, right? Now, I'll tell you what. I'm going to start in the falsetto. No, I'm going to start with the breathing, of course. So do the exhale, inhale as you bring your arms up. Exhale. Do that a few times. And as you're doing that, do maybe two more times. I'll let the listeners know that the reason I have people raise their arms that way is that the musculature underneath the arm and the rib cage and all that being attached to the rib cage, the muscles like right here attached. That's great. You can stop with that. The muscles being attached here. When you bring your arms up, it allows the rib cage to expand. A lot of people have been taught the kind of low breathing thing. I think you've been taught that in the past, right? And the whole low breathing thing, the idea that the air goes low and you fill up the belly and all of that. Well, the lungs are actually, up here, back there. So what this does is it allows the rib cage to expand. When one thinks about the breathing too low, the rib cage doesn't move because your focus is in the wrong place. So this allows the rib cage to move, and you obviously feel the air going in, and it feels like you're getting a lot of air, right? Brilliant. Now, that doesn't mean that you always have to tank up whenever you sing. Of course, how much air you take depends on the phrase that you're singing. But anyway, just a little aside to explain that thing. Now, let's do in the falsetto, um, but we're going to do this with a G and an oo, goo, 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 three times. Don't worry about anything. It's just falsetto and it's goo, 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 etc. Exactly. And if it, as we go lower, wants to go into some kind of a chest voice, and if it's weird and disruptive and goes, don't even worry about that. You just let it do what it wants to do, whatever is easy. Now I'm going to stop there only because I can hear that it's like, that's the bottom of the falsetto, kind of wants to do something,
Yeah,
but doesn't know where to go. I just wanted to get the falsetto going because you haven't sung today, and I know it's earlier
yeah.
where you're at than it is where I'm at right now. So I'm making you sing in the morning, which is a horrible thing to do to anybody, but you very nicely are accommodating. And so I just wanted to get things going. Now we're going to do the same thing, and I'm going to do it in the chest voice. Again, just to get your voice awake, just to get it going. So down there, go, 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 not too loud, real easy. Yep. Now, I'm going to address the fact that was great. I'm going to address the fact that you started to move a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, when we first started working, you had already watched my YouTube channel and you watched the episode with Nellie, where I had Nellie moving around, right? Because we were trying to get that high C and things were getting a little tight. and you said, oh, wait a minute, that kind of applies to me, and I tend to get a little bit tight. So you started just naturally moving around because you felt something starting to get a little bit tight, right?
Yeah.
All right, fine. And that's again the perfect thing to do. If what, hopefully what I teach is that you start to kind of take over a little bit and let your instincts come out and say, oh, wait a minute, I'm feeling a little tight. So, maybe I need to move. Absolutely fine. Move away. So, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's do an ah, and we're going to go up with it. Not too high, not too low. We'll see where your voice wants to go. And again, if you feel something starting to get tight and you feel you need to move, then you move around. Let your rib cage move. You do whatever you need to do. On and on.
Ah, ah, ah.
Now, what I'm hearing is it sounds a little,
Mhm.
it sounds again a little bit like morning voice,
Yeah.
which is fine. So I'm going to change the exercise. Instead of doing an ah, I'm going to do a different vowel and I'm going to add something. Uh, let's do this with an E, not too loud, and I want you to add an S. Fee, fee, fee. Easy peasy, not that loud. And again, if you feel you need to move, you move. If not, not. Whatever wants to come to you.
Fee, fee, fee.
Good, and it's pretty low, so easy peasy on those low notes.
Fee, fee, fee. Fee, fee, fee. Fee, fee, fee.
Easy on that bottom one.
Fee, fee, fee. Fee, fee, fee. Fee, fee, fee. Fee, fee, fee. Fee, fee, fee.
Great. Now, what happens with the E vowel and why did I choose it? You notice the ah vowel was a little fuzzy, a little funky, a little breathy-ish, right? So the E vowel brings in just a little bit more on the head voice side and it brings the vocal cords together. So you got a little bit more of the head voice and you got a little bit more of a clear sound. Now, the only thing, and the reason I use the F is because I just wanted to make sure the air was flowing.
Yeah,
Now, we have to make sure the air is flowing without the push because a couple of those little bit on the last one,
yeah.
you felt it, right? There was that little bit of like pushing the air, right? Now, let's do the whole octave, same fee, right? But what I'm going to have you do here is I'm going to have you exhale your air, inhale as you bring your arms up, keep your arms up, and then sing fee, 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 fee.
Fee, 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 fee.
Great, you can bring your arms down. Now, felt better, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, the reason I did that is one, I wanted to make sure that you had enough air. So, what I was noticing with the other thing is you were moving around a little bit, but the in breath was a little tight.
Yeah,
The in breath was a little, there was a little bit, of that going on. And that's fine. That's the habit. And we've been trying to break through the habit and get other things going on. So, since your body wanted to do that for today, for now, again, probably because it's morning, you're not quite warmed up. Whenever we're not 100% with our voices, and especially when it's earlier on in the day, we tend to want to work hard.
Hmm.
We just can't help it. It's like, oh, I got to make it work. It's not, and we're doing the video, and so all of that, right? So all I did was have you exhale, inhale as you bring your arms up, making sure that the air goes absolutely where the lungs are, and you take plenty of time, you have plenty of air. And then by keeping your arms up, then you can't push with the lower part of your body. You can't push with, try to get that out.
Yeah.
That was great. It worked beautifully. Let's keep going with this idea. So exhale, inhale as you bring your arms up, and fee, 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 fee. And that fee, fee, fee will keep that air flowing for you, and you'll have plenty of air in your lungs. Try for this one.
Fee, 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 fee.
Yeah, bring your arms down. Great. And I'm going to point out what happened on that bottom note. What was really good? No, it was great.
Okay.
No, 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 it was fine. Now tell me, no, well, okay, well, I'm glad you gave that look. Why didn't you like the bottom note?
I mean, I always feel like the bottom is just hard to negotiate because like it's so easy for me to sing high, and so it's if I don't, if I overgas the bottom, then it's too push, and if I don't give it enough energy, then it's like too wimpy. And I always feel like it's like somewhere in between both, and it's never like right.
Okay, now let me ask you this. I'm glad you brought that up. That bottom note, did you think it was too wimpy?
No, but I thought it was more or less kind of like the ones that you thought were more pushed. So
Oh, no, I have to say, I didn't hear a push to it. So
yay.
why did you think it was pushed? Did you feel something in your body or was it something in the sound?
It sounded similar to me, but also it's early, so I'm like ooh.
Totally. And that brings up another point. Many times, in fact, most times, we don't hear it on the inside the way it's actually coming out on the outside.
Yeah,
And it could be that you thought it was a little compromised simply because, as you just explained, the low notes seem a little weird, right? So you're
yeah,
thinking, oh, it's like the other one, and I actually had no problem with that low note. I thought it was
yeah.
really good. I thought I didn't see any, I didn't notice any push to it. I didn't hear any push to it. It just kind of did its thing, right? Now I'm glad you mentioned about how it's easier for you to sing higher. Obviously, you're a tenor, but when I started the lesson, except for the falsetto part, of course, and started down here, one may say, oh, listen to those big sounds on the bottom. Oh, he sounds like he's a baritone. But as you're going higher up, obviously there's more of a tenor quality coming up. Now, one of the things about tenors that have a full voice, as you do, obviously, is you have to be careful not to overdo these bottom guys. Because if you oversing the bottom, then it's going to be much more difficult to get to the top. One of the other reasons why I changed to the E vowel, because with the E vowel, you're going to get way more a headier mix on the top notes and also on the bottom notes, so it won't be too heavy. I like what this E is doing, so we're going to keep going with this. Same idea, but breathe the same way. Yeah, exactly.
Fee.
Good. You didn't do the fee for each one, but that's okay.
Oh,
That seemed to work, so I'm not even worried about it. Let's try one more. Put the fee all the way down. Fee, 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 fee.
fee, 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 fee.
Now do that E, put your arms down. Do that E on the bottom all by itself and do E, G, 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 G.
Gee, 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 gee.
Not bad, but I just want to tweak it. I want to get it like a little bit more efficient.
Uh,
Do the same thing on on the E, that same note, I mean, and do it with staccato. So E, E, E. Let's just see what happens.
E, E, E.
Now, see, all of it. But again, I'm hearing little subtleties, and I'm just hearing little things. You could sing that in a piece of music, and it would be absolutely fine. But I'm hearing a little something that's shutting down.
Mhm.
So we want to unshut it down. Now, all the other E's I really had no problem with, but this E that's a little bit higher is a little funky, right? You feel it? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to change vowels, and instead of an E, let's see what happens. You're all warmed up now. You're ready to go. Let's see what happens if we do the same thing on an A. So, let me think. Let me think. Yes, you're going to do A to E. So you're going to do A, E, A, E, A, E, A, E. And then hold the E a little bit.
Ay, 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 ay.
Bingo.
Mhm,
That's a better E.
mhm.
Let's play around with this. Same thing here.
Ay, 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 ay.
That's it. Easy peasy. When you take your breath, be a little bit more casual with it.
Okay.
It's only one note, and if you run out of breath at any point while you're holding the note, you just stop. You don't need an awful lot of air, but just kind of be real casual with the in breath.
Ay, 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 ay.
Now, again, little thing. Casual with the in breath is great, but that doesn't mean you quote unquote relax when you sing the note.
Yeah.
It was a little bit under energized.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about little fussy things here because, again, everything you've sung so far, you could sing all of that and nobody would say, oh, there's something wrong with his voice. Obviously not. But I'm fussing with these little things because these little things are important when you're in the context of a piece of music.
Yeah.
And if these little things go off, then what happens later on in the piece of music go off. So let's try it again. Casual in breath, you let it expand, but then there's energy behind the sound.
Ay, 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 ay.
Perfect.
Okay.
That was great. So that was a great approach. The in breath was great. The energy was great. Wonderful. Now let's just test everything out and see where we're at, okay? Do this on an ah, and you don't have to hold it all that long. Hold it a little bit and see where it wants to go. Plain old ah.
Chest voice? Or
Just, you know the
just
note.
saying. Just saying.
Because I don't want you to think, oh, it's a chest voice, therefore it needs to feel like this. Oh, it's a falsetto, therefore it needs to feel like that. I want you to have the courage to just hear the pitch, let it go. If it doesn't know what it wants to do, if the note actually says, I don't know if I want to be a chest voice, I don't know if I want to be a falsetto, and it goes, I'll fix it.
Oh.
See? It just did it. You didn't have to worry about anything. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to fuss with. One of the things that I fuss with you, you're smiling. Do you know what I'm going to fuss with?
The bottom or the in breath?
No,
Too much breath?
no. All of that was great. The breathing was good. The bottom was actually good. All of it was good. The vowel.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah. Ah.
exactly. Now, a little bit of a background here on Matthew. He was trained, quote unquote, classically. And the problem that could happen when one is trained classically is that a lot of teachers say, oh, you have to get the rounded vowel because that's the vowel you need. Oh. Well, Matthew's obviously a musical theater guy. Nobody in musical theater sings ah ah ah. And even over rounding the ah in classical singing and opera is not efficient either. What I find with my singers who sing opera is that it's way over rounded and they don't have enough chest voice. Now, usually with musical theater people, you have to kind of temper the chest voice a little bit. But in this case, the mix is good. The falsetto ratio to chest voice ratio is actually quite good, but the ah, because of that habit of, oh yeah, you get the rounded ah ah ah. Now, there may be some piece of music that you would sing where, because the sound was great, where you want to sing that ah. But under the musical theater circumstances, it's way too rounded and ah.
Yeah.
So do exactly what you just did, and then just get a much broader ah, get that little bit of a smile on your face, and see what happens, right? And as a result, you actually got a little bit more a chest voice, excuse me.
Yeah.
Right? Now, again, that goes back to what I have said over and over again. If it's a broader vowel, you're going to get more chest voice. If it's a rounder vowel, you're going to get more head voice. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you go back to the other ah. So go back to the rounder ah and just do that one. Now, again, the sound was great, but that was not an ah at all. It wasn't even a rounder ah, that was an aw, right? And again, I have no problem with that. That was a great sound, but it wasn't an ah. Now, if you can get that head voice sound, but slightly more of an ah, so it's not as rounded as you think. Okay? Little fuzzy on the bottom that sounds like a little phlegmy thing coming in. Don't worry about it. Now, that's great. And the reason I'm pointing this out, and thank you again for showing my YouTube listeners about this, the way you shape the vowel is going to make a big difference in the kind of sound that you get. Yeah. Now, that is a true control factor. Way more of a control factor than placing it forward or back or up or down or support or any of that. How am I going to get more chest voice? Oh, I'll get a broader ah. How am I going to get less chest voice? Oh, I'm going to get a rounder ah. And then, of course, you want to know exactly how am I shaping that ah. Oh, that ah sounds like this, or that other ah sounds like the other thing, right? So the shape of not just the mouth, but the cavity on the inside is going to make a big, big difference as to the kind of sound you're going to get coming out. Now, tell you what we're going to do. You're going to do that same thing, but you're going to do it on an ah. So real big, real obnoxious, real horizontal, ah. Take a breath and let it fly. Great. Now you hear that sound? You're going to do that ah. Just go for it. Big, obnoxious ah, ah. Take your time with the in-breath so you have plenty of air. Let the rib cage expand, and then just go for it. Rhythmic ah, and let it be the worst note you've ever sung in your life. Okay. So in other words, it doesn't have to sound good. We're just playing around here. We're just experimenting. So ah, let it fly. Now that's in the right direction. Nothing's tight about it, right? No. So the in-breath was okay. I'll tell you what. I'm going to do this a slightly different way. I'm going to have you exhale all of your air, but inhale with a ya, ya, ya. Don't use your arms. So exhale, inhale, like that. And then you're going to sing, same thing. Yeah. was much easier, wasn't it?
Yes.
And that was better, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Simply because you had enough air. So again, we're breaking through that habit of that kind of low breathing thing. I didn't have to fuss with the note. I didn't have to fuss with the register balance. It wasn't even constricted. I didn't have to try to unconstrict it or any of that stuff. All I had to do was have you get the rib cage to expand and
Yeah.
really take that air. And then there it was. That was really good.
Yay.
Excellent. So I think that's a good place to finish. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Donna.
Thanks, Matthew. We've got a
Thanks for watching Donna Reid Talks Voice. If you have any questions for me about this episode, please visit my website and click Contact.